Good. You'll have to bear with me as I'm making all of these shifts in my life. It's a little unsettling, even though it's exciting, and I'm really happy about it all. So, all right. So let's say a prayer. Placing my hands on my heart, taking in that deep cleansing breath of love and gratitude. So grateful for this opportunity to come together with my precious brothers and sisters. Grateful for our willingness to rest in this heart space, to allow this heart to remain open, to allow our minds to remain open and ready to receive. We're grateful for our desire and dedication to shining away any and all blocks to love, and are claiming that they are healing now, that they are dissolving and resolving back to the nothingness from which they came. We're grateful for this loving and supportive community that we have grown here for the past few years, and for all of our mighty companions, all of our earthly and heavenly helpers that join us each and every day of our life, leading us and guiding us and blessing us. We ask that they bless this technology that we get to use to come together each week, and to bless our conversation, and bless every single one of us here and all who may listen later in all areas of our life. And we're so grateful that we get to share those blessings and share the love that we are with everyone, because we are one with them. In grace and gratitude, we let it be. And so it is. Amen. All righty. So we are in chapter 29, section 4, dream rolls, not drum rolls, which I'm also very familiar with, but dream rolls. So I am going to start us off in paragraph 1, where I'm just going to mute everybody here so we have a nice clean recording. There we go. Thank you. Okay. So he says, do you believe that truth can be but some illusions? They are dreams because they are not true. Their equal lack of truth becomes the basis for a miracle, which means that you have understood that dreams are dreams, and that escape depends not on the dream, but only on awakening. Could it be some dreams are kept and others wakened from? The choice is not between which dream to keep, but only if you want to live in dreams or to waken from them. And then on a side note, I wrote, if I am seeing anything besides love, I am keeping my brother and myself in prison. So I am so grateful for my desire to awaken from the dreams. Because even though, like we were talking about in the chat, it seems that letting everything go can seem challenging, because, you know, like I would really like to keep my relationship with my son. You know, I would really like to keep the beauty of my backyard. You know, so I have attachments to that, and I feel like that's okay, that I can, if I can appreciate them and love them and just release the attachments, that my willingness really will be enough to allow myself and my brothers to be released from prison. So that's where I'm starting us. Go ahead, Carla, and then Grace.
Where do I start? So I want to start in the second paragraph, the first sentence. The dreams you think you like would hold you back as much as those in which fear is seen. I could go on. The whole paragraph is, I think I have the whole paragraph, but I could tell you my experience now in this. If I told you, it would not sound like a happy story, you know. But I'm happy. I'm taken care of, and I realize it by little things that happen every day. And I'll just tell you one experience. So I ordered some drinks from Amazon, right? And they're supposed to get here last night. This is people who live here in this hotel are really poor. They delivered it last night and they stuck it outside my door and didn't even friggin' knock on the door. I had the door open for much of the night, but evidently not then. It's gone. That somebody took it. So I realized this. I could make meaning of that. I could, it's not about what other people did. It's not how life reacts to me. It's how I respond back to life. That experience is the life, is part of my life, right? So I know it's the word is happy. I'm peaceful. When someone took that, they must have felt like they needed it or something. Okay, I'm okay with that. I would have liked it, but I don't need it. I'm taken care of. Everything I really need, it's taken care of. And it's a lot of it's about surrender. Trusting that no matter what happens, somehow it's woven into the very fabric of life for good. And if I start judging it, if I start sending bad energy back, that's what am I adding to the weaving of the world? What am I creating? So I've been really going through a lot of and this is I haven't looked at my old poems for a long time, but I was guided to write them down in this notebook, and I'm like, oh, everything I needed to know was given to me years and years ago. I just didn't see it. Now I see it more fully in this poem I'm going to share with you. Is was one of those. It's called Nothing is Everything. In my mind, I see myself waving a white flag of surrender. While all around me, it seems chaos is appearing to happen. I do not feel afraid. Just empty. I empty myself of thought, of meaning, of judgment. But I'm empty, but certain. Done with listening to ego thoughts. It feels like I have much to do now, but I have no clue as to what that is. I am screaming really in my mind, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. All while waving my white flag of surrender. I let go until I am empty, empty of thought, empty of meaning. Nothing left. But even that, I surrender. I surrender the nothingness. And then that surrender, that complete surrender, that total complete surrender, I realize I am everything. It's not, I know it sounds like it's for you, but it's for me. It's, you're all helping me remember, because we are one. And I just say thank you. I'm so grateful. So grateful to life, so grateful to you, so grateful for the person who took the Amazon package. It doesn't mean anything, really. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Carla. I love you, my friend. Grace.
Did you call on me, Linda? Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing.
Yes,
Gosh, Carla,
okay.
you get me so fired up. Yay, you should be a preacher. So what we just read kind of matches today's lesson for lesson 130. It is impossible to see two worlds. And I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I was staying with my daughter and helping her with her new baby. And I mean, am I attached to them so much, so attached? Miss them, love them. I'm attached to you guys. I missed you, to my other daughter. So I'm definitely seeing two worlds, and it's been on my mind a lot recently, that I want to see the real world, and I don't really want, and I would like to fade out the illusion, and I'm not finding it easy. I spoke to Kiran J about being kind to other people, being loving, being accepting, non-judgment, and all that stuff. And I talked to her about just loving my daughters so much and my grandchildren and how much I miss them. And she told me that that's not real love. And that really shocked me. She says, that's an illusion and it's not real love. There's only one real love, and that's the love of God. And and what shocked me even more was she said that what I feel for other people, that love, that kindness, that compassion, all that stuff, but especially the love, it's blocking God's love. And I'm like, whoa, that really shocked me, that it's blocking true love. And there's only one love. And so to watch where I'm coming from, am I coming from spirit or am I coming from ego? So it's been on my mind a lot recently. You know, how can I move away from this illusionary dream world? And I asked spirit, and I'm not sure how to do it, but I'm willing to. I've got one of those wireless photo frames that flips photos all the time. And I thought, I should probably take out all those pictures from it and make everyone a lesson from the Course in Miracles. That might wake me up a little bit. So that was the idea I had this morning. But boy, is that a lot to think about, that the love we feel on earth for, you know, that the love of my house and my garden and all that stuff, it's blocking real love. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Grace. I understand that. That's what I was thinking about and talking about, like you know, would I miss my son? Would I miss the beauty of my backyard? I'm interested in releasing the attachments. I can still love them, but just not be attached. And Christy, that sounds like a, you know, creating like a little thing that you can sell to people, a little stick that would go into those digital photos that has the daily lessons, because I know you create such beautiful images that go with the lesson. So who knows? Maybe a little side business there. Thank you, Grace. Leslie.
I don't know, maybe I'm feeling a little crabby today, but I don't know if I totally buy that, Grace, what Kieran J said. I'm sorry, but to me, love is love. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying I don't know if I agree with it. And I totally hear what you're saying about attachment. But I don't know how loving my mom and my best friend unconditionally and having a true holy relationship with them could possibly be blocking my love from God. That just makes no sense to me. I'm just going to put that out there. It makes no sense to me. And maybe I'm just not spiritually advanced enough to get it yet. Maybe I'm just in a crabby mood. I don't know. But I just wanted to mention that. And Carla, your story really touched me, and your reaction really touched me. But what I know, you're close to tears, and what I always get confused about, because I'm so much a two and I'm so much into the heart, into the feeling aspect of things. Are you what you're doing, is that considered a spiritual bypass? I mean, have you, because I know you were, I mean, I don't know it, but if I was in your shoes, I think I would feel hurt and I would feel disappointed, and I would at least feel those feelings for a moment and then be able to get to where you're at now. And maybe you have done that. I'm just not seeing it. It just, you still seem upset to me. And I just want to give you a hug, because, and I bless that person too that took them, because obviously they were more thirsty than you, and God will bless you. I mean, things happen the way they happen, and your reaction is beautiful. I just think it's okay to cry about it. Okay, I'm going to zip it now, because like I said, I'm feeling cranky and I don't know why. I'm at 130 packs, which is awesome. I only have 70 more to send to Africa. So close. Okay, bye.
Oh, thank you, Leslie. Well, I know by the end of this hour, you're not going to feel cranky anymore, because we're just going to blast you with love, my friend.
I think so too. I'm already feeling better. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Thank you. Derwin, and then Hamira and Mark.
I think Mary Lee was first, was it? Mary Lee, did you raise your hand?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't see that. Go ahead, Mary Lee. Sorry about that.
Well, that's kind of you. Thank you. I have more questions than answers or any big thoughts like that. But what I was a little bit stumped with kind of goes along with what Grace said and then what Leslie said. So thanks for letting me just interject a few words. The concept of dreams, I'm not understanding in this chapter, especially like revealed in that second paragraph. For every dream is but a dream of fear. So now I don't think I'm actually know the definition of dream, because I think I have generally used it as something to aspire toward, or that I remember a lot of my dreams. I'm quite a dreamer, and I've written down many, many dreams, and dreams are, to me, often reveal fears for me. For instance, if I'm fearing something coming up, I will have a bear in my dream. A bear symbolizes fear a lot of times in my dreams. So I just I'm thinking I don't know the definition of dream as perhaps is intended here. And I did ditto what Leslie was feeling as far as my understanding of God's love is our revealing it in our lives on earth, not to diminish what we feel for each other. So I guess those two things are kind of puzzles to me today, and maybe different ones' comments will help me understand because I don't think I'm knowing the definition of dreams here real clearly. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for the questions, Mary Lee. I'm sure lots of folks have things to say about that. But before we move on to Derwin, I would say the first thought is that words are but symbols of symbols is what comes to me from A Course in Miracles. So dreams can mean my aspirations and desires and goals. Dreams can also mean when I'm in a sleeping state and my subconscious or unconscious is speaking to me through images. But I think the dream mostly that is being talked about in this section is the illusion of separation, for the most part, is what he's talking about in dreams, that this is an illusory world and that we are believing that we are separate from God, but we are not. We are still in God. That is the truth. And the dream is the illusion that we are separate and that there are 16 people sitting in front of a computer screen having this conversation. So I hope that helps a little bit. And the thing that Leslie and Christy were talking about in the chat about the Kieran J's comments, it again from Course in Miracles, the whole thing about blocking God's love. I really feel too, like Christy said, that it is more about the holy relationship versus the special relationship. Again, about the attachments that we have. So I hope that helps a little bit. Derwin.
Good afternoon. Blessings to everybody. I'm at home. I'm also reflecting on this particular paragraph 2. So thank you, Grace. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Mary Lee. Thank you, Linda. I'm also thinking about, from the moment Linda also posed that question about her relationship with her son. So I was also thinking about my special relationships. And reading this chapter, I was also feeling there like, I don't want to see that as a dream, the way a dream is now being explained to me. And I also wrote down that sometimes, a lot of times, the people that we love the most, that I love the most, I say to myself, they can hurt me the most. And that's also what happens. So if something happens, I feel very disappointed. I feel they failed my expectation because it's this special relationship. And that's where I hold them accountable of stuff. So in a way, that's the unconscious guilt for me, the unconscious fear and sin. And that's where I need to snap out of the dream. So that's for me, the realization that my holy relationship actually became this special relationship, which is a dream. And seeing it from that perspective, I'm like, okay, then I do get how I can snap out of the dream and because I should not be holding them accountable of these projections, of these fears that I have. And even in the section, section 2, it says in line 7, the miracle we were treacherous indeed, if it allowed you still to be afraid, because you did not recognize the fear. And a lot of times I don't recognize the fears and the guilt in the special relationships that I have been cultivating. So yeah, thank you group for allowing us to discuss this this chapter. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Derwin. Yeah, lots of great contemplation from this chapter for sure. Humira, and then Mark, and then Kathleen.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Linda, and everyone who talked. And Carla, your poem was absolutely breathtaking. You know, first I wanted to say, I really don't know anything. I don't know anything. So I'm just like talking out loud as you guys are talking, you're like connecting things in my mind. And I'm just going to talk it out loud to see even if it makes sense to me. Because what, you know, Grace said about love, and then I was thinking the same thing with Leslie, like, well, love is love. And the one of the other definitions in the course is extension of love. But I think it's exactly what you said, Linda, that Christy had said, that it's really distinguishing between special relationships versus holy relationships. And, you know, years ago, before the Course in Miracles, I remember I was reading a lot of books by Paramahansa Yogananda, the one who wrote Autobiography of a Yogi. And one of his books, he was talking about, you know, some of these disciples that he had that initially when he came to the US, that were American, that were coming to him. And then he would say, you're not to go home for 4 years or 5 years. And he would, and one of the reasons for that was to break the attachment, not the love, but the attachment, to grow that love towards everybody in the same way. And, you know, and I think about that, like, of course, that's my desire of the heart. But if I'm very honest, of course, I love my family first, it seems like, more than anybody else. But then as I thought about that, I remembered another lesson in the course. I don't remember which one it was, where he was saying, think about all the people that you have upset towards, and think about your loved ones. And like, you know, how much anger you have, even at how that shifts and changes, even within those seemingly like loving relationships. So really, then I thought, I don't even know what love means, and I'm open to learn. So I just kind of wanted to put it out there, because I seriously have come to this place, like, I don't know anything, and I'm so open and I want to learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Humira. That's such a beautiful place to be, because it feels like that space in the course where it says, come with holy empty hands unto your God, because you're like letting go, like, okay, I'm realizing I have these attachments to the people that I love, but I'm just going to keep saying I don't know anything and just let it all go. So welcome, congratulations. I'm glad you're getting there. Mark.
Yeah, hi guys. Such a nice group. It's always a delight to and I'm always looking forward to this meeting. I was thinking this afternoon, like, I've never been someone who's gone to church, but this is my church. You know, and we're here to put everything on our altar here. Like we put our ego stuff on the altar, and not to just make more ego reactions and more ego out of it, but together to solve it, to dissolve it. And I really feel like we're doing that, and that's so nice. it's always, I don't know if you guys have that, but like the day before this meeting is coming, I'm thinking, am I going to share something? And but it turns out that it's never the same that you thought you were sharing. But I do want to comment shortly on. I also really loved Carla's poem. It was right spot on, so it was really nice. And and I also really agree with Leslie on Grace's share from Kyron J, that I believe that even if if you have a special relationship, that in this special relationship there are, I guess, many moments where there is real love which is shared between the two people. So do not depreciate the love that you're feeling, but be on the outlook. Like if you find a thought in your head like, I need them, that's the specialness. That's not real love. But when you feel warm in your heart, and that's real love, isn't it? So yeah, and then maybe I want to share about something that I encountered yesterday. It was a little miracle. There are no little miracles. Every miracle is the same, so because there are no degrees in miracles. But it was a very short and seemingly, how do you say? Seemingly, well, a very short encounter. But I was just walking because I had to get my bike somewhere. So I had a 45 minutes walk, and I was just walking, and I was like trying to meditate on the way, and I was like, I felt like, oh my God, sometimes I'm really like making other people different all the time. So I'm really judging people. So I'm walking on the street and I see other people, and I catch myself thinking, oh, you're different from me, you know, or I catch myself seeing, oh, you're just, well, it could be anything, but something that makes like, okay. And I thought, gosh, I don't want this. I don't want this. So I walked on and nothing really happened. And then I met a man in his 60s, maybe. I don't know. I guess he was walking with his dog or something. And there was something in his, I guess it was something in his clothes that made me think like, oh, you're different from me, which is crazy, but okay. But it was and I hadn't yet catched the thought, and that was the moment when I was passing him, and he looked at me, and he had a very gentle smile, and he said hello in a very gentle way to me. And I like, as a normal reaction, I laughed and said hello back, or I smiled and said hello. And that was the encounter, and then we passed each other, and that was it. And I felt so, well, I thought it was a miracle, because I really felt so warm-hearted after that. Like, it was like a miracle from him to me. Like, first there was a separation thought, and then there was just the real love. Yeah, that was nice. So. So
Yeah.
really appreciate you all, and yeah, now it's time for the next person to speak.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. That was a beautiful little miracle. And all that they're all the same. I appreciate that. Thank you. Kathleen, and then Catherine, and then Grace.
Well, I wanted to go to paragraph 5, how happy would your dreams become if you were not the one who gave the proper role to every figure that the dream contains? I get upset or a little nervous when I read that we're in this icky dream that's based on fear. And then I like this paragraph because we don't have to see it that way. No one can fail but your idea of him, and there is no betrayal but of this. The core of dreams the Holy Spirit gives is never one of fear. So there's the concept again, that it's a core of dreams, but now it's been given by the Holy Spirit. The coverings may not appear to change, but what they mean has changed because they cover something else. Perceptions are determined by their purpose, and that they seem to be what they are for. A shadow figure, like someone from our past who attacks, becomes a brother, giving you a chance to help if this becomes the function of the dream. And dreams of sadness are thus turned to joy. And at the bottom, I'm reading out of the purple book. Robert Perry adds, shadow figures are images of people who did not fulfill the functions we gave them. We project these images onto current people in our lives so that in their behavior, we see the shadow figure reaching out of the past to attack us once again. However, if you assign to the dream the purpose of helping your brother instead of him meeting your needs, then you will see in the same behavior a different meaning. You will see a brother giving you a chance to help. So those last two paragraphs really made me feel much better about the whole thing. So I don't have to give people the roles. I don't have to give them the role of sister, father, mother, daughter. I think all these people are just my friends. So if we can take away all these roles that we've given people, boyfriend, girlfriend, and then let the Holy Spirit just let us see that, oh, this is another person that I can help and who is also here to help me, then the whole thing shifts. So then I don't have to worry about being in the wrong place again at the wrong time. So just number 6, again, what is your brother for? You don't know because your function is obscure to you. Do not ascribe a role to him which you imagine would bring happiness to you, and don't try to hurt him when he fails to take the part which you assign to him and what you dream your life was meant to be. He asks for help in every dream he has, and you have help to give him if you see the function of the dream as he perceives his function. Who can utilize all dreams as means to serve the function given him. Now it's a capital H, because he loves the dreamer, not the dream. Each dream becomes an offering of love, for at its center is God's love for you, which lights whatever form it takes with love. So all those people like we're walking past who look different than us, or the people at Costco who I send them all love because I know they're no different than I am. That's a fairly easy thing to do, but when it comes to my family, removing the roles that I have given them, that's tougher. And then wanting to hold on to them because that special love feels so good. Yeah, wow. So we're all just enlarging and becoming enlightened together. I heard this great quote at my miracles group. I was wondering if I should take down all the pictures off my refrigerator because they're all about the past. And the leader, whose name just went right out of my head, she said something she heard when email was just getting started. Someone sent her an email that said, you know, if God had a refrigerator, all of our pictures would be on it. So they're just like little memories of love, and don't worry about it. Thanks.
Oh, it's so beautiful, Kathleen. Thank you so much. Yeah. We're all on God's refrigerator. That image is going to stay with me for a while. Catherine.
Oh gosh, there's so much good stuff. I've been immersed in reading Ken Wapnick's book, Ending Our Escape from Love. And of course, he references everything from the Course. I mean, he was so steeped in it. And one of the things that came up was about resistance. And, you know, he says resistance says there is an underlying problem that I do not want to look at. But the fact of the matter is that there is no underlying problem. We just think there is. So resistance then becomes a defense. When I'm able to let go of the resistance, which is what looking with Jesus or the Holy Spirit means, then I suddenly realized there was nothing there. And as the Course says, what if you looked within and saw no sin? And I thought that was cool. And then another sentence I wrote was, all my resistance is hiding my fear of love. And so then the next thing I read was, when we look at nothingness, with the love of the everything beside us, it dissolves. And I thought, oh Lord, if we could just walk with that every day, that all these dreams that we have, we're getting our illusions coming up even through our dream life. And maybe this is all a dream. Maybe our life is all a dream. In a way it is. And it's just one of those hard things to grasp onto. But don't worry about that. Let's just think, what is it trying to teach us? And what I hear is that we have a great resistance because we think we're guilty and bad and wrong. We could not possibly be good enough. But Kathleen, I'm going to remember that we're all on God's refrigerator. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks so much, Catherine. Grace, and then Nancy Gail, and then Carla.
Thanks everybody for just a great discussion. And I'm still not sure what I think about anything. But the lesson today is it's impossible to see two worlds. And that's what I'm holding. And thanks, Kathleen and Catherine. Definitely, I have been working on resistance, and I'm pure and innocent. I've done nothing wrong. There's no sin here at all. And I can always fall back on that. I'm pure and innocent. And so are we all. So I don't need to worry about anything, and I don't need to worry about not understanding. It'll come to me. But thanks for a great discussion today. I don't know if I'm any clearer, but I did get some help from just about everybody. And so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you, Grace. Nancy Gail, and then Carla.
Hi, can you hear me okay? Okay, thanks. My first thought was when Mark was talking, when he first said he's walking down, and then he saw the man, and when they were passing, the man said hello to him. And the image I got, excuse me, was, all I could see was Paul, the what do you call it? Paul, the disciple, before he would or anybody else, with the power of just a smile and a hello. That's all anybody ever had to do. And Mark, and that's what, it just was awesome. That's what and I saw that, I said, oh my gosh, there's a connection. That's a connection. That's all he had to do. And Mark got that. And then the other thing when they were, with Leslie, I forgot who was doing what. But anyway, it's like, I agree with all you all that Kieran J, when I heard what she was saying, it's the way I interpreted I heard what she said was she was speaking about the special relationship versus the holy relationship. And that's all I took from that, which makes sense. And then the other, I've got a really cool thing to share. The lesson 127, there is no love but God's. In the very first paragraph, Kieran G also stopped whatever she was saying at some point in the thing yesterday or Saturday, and she just stopped and she went to this lesson, and she read this, and it's like, and I clicked. I'll just read the first paragraph. Perhaps you think that different kinds of love are possible. Perhaps you think there's a kind of love for this and a kind of for that, a way of loving one, another way of loving another. Love is one. It has no separate parts and no degrees, no kinds nor levels, no divergencies and no distinctions. It is like itself, unchanged throughout. It never alters with a person or a circumstance. And here's the last sentence that's really hit home. It is the heart, love is the heart of God and also of his Son, which is what we are. And I can still hear that. And I was like, oh my God, that's who I am. And then it's like, here's the good thing I got to share with you guys. What'd I do with it? Oh, you know my story, enough of it to appreciate this. And when Jennifer was the prayer power, the first week she said, do the divine experiment. Go to the divine experiment and try that for 21 days, right? Pick a person and then pray for the person. And I did a couple. One of them was my daughter, Amy, my daughter, the one that's still alive. And because I was feeling guilty of, for me, and that all the stuff that I affected, like Gina and Amy and all this stuff, right? And so I've been praying for her. So here's my Mother's Day card. She had a cold, so she couldn't come in. But they had to come over, and so she could give me the card. But she had to stay outside. And it's like the first time, because anyways, it says, here's this card. You are made of wonderful. And she writes this: to my one and only mom, with love, Amy Sue. It's always hard to find a card that says just the right thing. So this year I decided to write my own. Hope you like it. Here's what she wrote. My mother wasn't perfect. She wasn't meant to be. But she served her family day by day, doing what she thought was best for me. What do we pray for? The highest and best, right? My mother wasn't perfect. Sometimes she'd lose her cool. Yet through it all, I learned it's best to follow the golden rule. My mother wasn't perfect. We often laughed and joked how she loved the birds and flowers and the spaces where God's beauty poked. My mother wasn't perfect. There's no plaque upon her shelf. But this one thing I learned from her: it's okay to be yourself. All these years. And so, anyways, it's like the answer to my prayer. It's like, just, she broke my heart. No, she didn't. And I was talking with my prayer partner. Wait a minute. My brain's lost it already. I can't remember what it was. This whole year with all the things that we're doing and everything, it's bringing up all kinds of old stuff that I had long forgotten. Moments and things like that in detail. I remember in detail. And I'm doing in the praying and everything. And, if I don't know if you've noticed, but this year it's like, I don't tell my story anymore. That's what my goal was last year. I mean, I think about it, and sometimes I'll say something brief, but now it's different. It's that I think about it for a bit, and it's like to process it and there's a lesson there. And so whatever I'm using it as, there's something there for me to learn. And then it's gone. And it's like so amazing. And it's like, it's just, when I read this, my whole insides changed. Like all the hard regret and anger and all that just melted. And, I know it was with my prayer partner. I was like, I have just, recently this diagnosis of cancer, right? And it's like rectal cancer. And it's like, it's the very end of my whole system, which the whole system is clean, except for there. And then when the doctor was explaining, I'm getting this education, it's like a pocket of where the stuff like sits until it comes out, right? And it's like, wait, that's the end. And you know how all organs are related to some kind of emotion, like the kidneys are like the fear and liver is anger and all this stuff. And it's like, and all this stuff is coming up. And we were talking about it. I'm releasing all this stuff, all this old stuff. And so I started thinking, it's like talking. I remember Deepak Chopra saying something, and I started talking to, I said, I don't need you anymore. You don't need to be there anymore, because I don't need to hold on to this anymore. And it's like, I said, oh, it's like, it's just, oh, this is working so good. Look at this. And it's like, all of me is just this warm love. I guess, I know you guys have been praying for every cell and atom and all this stuff, right? Well, that's what's happening. And here's the proof. Jennifer's always talking about proof God. There it is. There it is. And I'm going to stop now because I want to go on for it. This is so awesome. This is so awesome. So, and thank you for all being here. And the big thing that I'm going to say again, listening is the most important thing, which I never got from all my life. Being heard. That's all anybody ever wants to do. Let's be heard. And you don't have to do anything with what the person says. They just need to know that you hear them, that you that's all. That's the connection. That's what people are looking for.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done.
Thank you, Nancy Gail. We see you, we hear you, and we're so grateful for your miracle with your daughter and for your miraculous realization that you're just releasing the last of all the old that is no longer serving you. So I'm just knowing that it's happening with ease and grace, my friend. Absolutely.
Oh, what Mark was when that gentleman said hello. What?
Oh, sorry, I muted you. I meant to just raise your hand. Say that again. There you go.
What Mark, when that gentleman, that was a connection when the man that he saw said hello to him. That was a connection. They recognized. They acknowledged one another.
Yeah.
That was the connection.
The Christ within each other.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a second, but it was really, really, yeah, it was a wonderful encounter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's all it takes.
Exactly. It's a holy instant. Carla and then Robin.
Okay, so I'll try to keep it short and relate all this. So it's about, I'm putting a lot of stuff together. Everybody teaches a little differently, but it's really all the same message, but it's different words. And so I'm gonna relate how Leslie, what I talked about earlier, and how I'm gonna respond to Amazon, all that stuff. And so, but I'll first start with this lesson, paragraph 4. When you are angry or any feeling, anything but love, see, love is all there is. So when you feel anything other than love, it is not because someone has failed to fill the function you allotted him. And does this not become the reason your attack is justified? So that's what I realized. Yeah, sure. I was disappointed. I felt the feelings, and it wasn't just feeling the love for them, whoever took in Amazon or whatever, because we're one anyhow. It's for myself that I had those feelings. I'm like, okay, they're coming up for healing. And now, so if everything is either love or a call for love, which is love, you respond with love to each one of those things. That's what I'm really learning. That's what this is giving me an opportunity to do. Now, true, I will do that, but I'm also going to call Amazon and say, the guy left it outside, and I really would not like to not pay for that, and see what they say. This is going to give me another opportunity. I don't know what they're going to say. Are they going to say, oh yeah, you won't have to pay for that? Or like, no, I'm sorry, you got it and you're going to have to pay. I don't know what they're going to do. And so whatever they do, it doesn't matter what they do. It only matters how I respond to what they do. I'm going to love myself. And how is, if I hate them, because for one, or angry at them, or upset at them, or angry at them, I'm not loving myself, am I? Because everything comes through me first. So it's this tells me exactly what I need to do, and Amazon tells me what I do, and the guy who took the Amazon package told me they're all fucking telling. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. They're all telling me what to do in their own way somehow. I don't. It's not about my interpretation of what they're trying to tell me. It's the truth that I feel in my heart that has always been there. Whether it was Amazon or whatever happens in this world, it's always there. It's never been gone, and that would never be gone. And that's what I'm choosing to look at all these experiences as opportunities for me to remember that, to practice living from that place forever. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Carla. Beautifully put. Robin.
Just quickly, everybody's sharing is so lovely and beautiful. And I'm just going to speak to this, that Thich Nhat Hanh asked that we smile at each other. And they do at Plum Village, they walk together. And they're doing a lot of things in the walking. And one of them is smiling, and the other is the way they're intentionally knowing how they're putting their feet on the ground. And he calls that, and kiss the earth with your feet, or something so lovely and sweet. And for a while there, and I hope my husband and I can get back into it, we were walking like 6 days a week. We'd go to a park or a forest. And I mean, it's just the most heavenly thing you can do. And I noticed in these walks that I'd be walking this way and there'd be other people coming this way. And then it was like, oh, so there was this little experiment or experience of walking. And then, am I gonna smile? Are they gonna smile? Or we're not gonna smile? And I wanted to smile, but then I didn't want to be rejected. So it really, it became a little experiment and experience of bringing my love, my holy relationship with strangers that are just trying to walk and pay. And so I just wanted to put that out there, because Mark, the smiling we can see that as it being an openness, and I'm sure you agreed to that and knew it. But it's not a small thing. It's a way to shine and bring our light into the world. So I love that little story, and thank you for listening to mine. Okay.
Thank you, Robin. Mark, can you be really brief, because we're already at time? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to react on what you said, Robin, which is really nice, the smiling. But you also said, and I think you are aware of, because that's why you said it. But I mean, you said, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna smile?
Yeah.
And there's the specialness right there. That's the special love. I'm smiling to get a smile back, and that's what we should be cautious of.
Yeah. Yeah. No attachments. And
Yeah.
I can totally relate to that, especially in this moment in my life where I'm making a transition out of my work with Power of Love Ministry, because I realized when I first had the thought that I was going to leave, like I have a special relationship with this ministry. I do. I love my job. I love the people I work with. I love the people that I get to come in contact with every single day. And I realized that I could really not listen to the signals that I am receiving from the universe, from my body, that are in my mind when I'm praying and meditating. I could just ignore those signals and continue to do this and be content, sort of, but I'm not fulfilling my purpose. I know what my purpose is. So I do have to say that since I have been able to release the attachment and make my declaration that I am no longer going to be working for Power of Love Ministry, that I have this sense of lightness of being. I have this sense of being on fire with my life, of being really excited about what is coming next, even though I have no clue what it is. I have some ideas, but I'm open. I'm open to receive and open to be of service for God. So yeah, thank you. All right, so next week, the changeless dwelling place. Again, chapter 29, section 5. And I'm going to read from the Pathway of Light's Insights for lesson 130, which is, it is impossible to see two worlds. To the ego, it is frightening to be told that there is nothing of value in this world. When we identify with the ego thought system, this brings up feelings of despair, depression, anguish, and loss of all hope. The ego responds with the idea, if there is nothing of value in this world, why go on living? It may even offer a typically insane solution by suggesting to end it all by killing the body. Since it is impossible to see two worlds, the ego's reaction to the idea that this world has no value is inevitable. The ego cannot see the real world where all true value lies. Having made only the valueless, the ego's only hope is to give value to the empty forms so that they might seem real. The ego defends these empty forms because they are the basis of its existence. They all represent the core idea that separation and differences are real. Without this, the ego ceases to exist. Thankfully, we are not left with simply being told there is no value in this world. We are offered the means by which to see the world in which real value and all meaning lie. We are also told that God offers us his strength to help us see this world. We not only don't have to do it alone, but we are not alone. That what is offered us here is a gift so magnificent that when we recognize it fully, we will drop all ego values with utter relief and without hesitation. It is the process of exchanging the empty values we have given this world for the value of the real world that gives meaning now to our daily life. Each time we are able to see a glimmer of light in a brother we called enemy, we move a step closer to experiencing the profound joy of remembering ourselves, which has never forgotten the real world. This is the way out of the dream of death. This is how we return to the awareness of our eternal life in God. This is how we find the perfect happiness that brings the ego of all despair, or that brings the end of all despair, dismay, and depression. Every day is now a gift, an opportunity to remove one barrier to the awareness of love's presence, an opportunity to extend love and therefore experience love's reality. Depression is replaced with joy. Conflict is replaced by peace, and fear is replaced by love. This is the benefit of asking for God's strength to help us see the real world and release us from the world we truly do not want. It offers us the real world which lies at the gate of heaven. Our only function now is to let go of those false ideas, not in fear, nor despair, nor hopelessness, but in joy and safety and trust that here we find home, knowing that we prepare ourselves for God's gentle hand to lift us back to heaven. Thank you, everybody. I love you so much. I will see you next week. Bye for now.
Hi.